Hey guys, my name's Baxter. I'm an accredited practicing dietitian and online physique coach, and this is my 6-week out check-in, or week 11 for those of you that have been following my YouTube channel. So to recap what has happened over the last 7 days, firstly we'll take a look at my nutrition and my training. So firstly, as a summary, last week I actually went up in weight. I had a really consistent week of training. However, I was forced to change gyms. I was looking for a new gym and trying to find someone that offered like a high intensity cardio style workout, because I really love group training. So I was back and forth between gyms, and whilst I was able to get all my training in, I think just the stress of that and lots of other stuff going on kind of meant that my weight went back up, and I was also premenstrual as well. So I think usually for me in the weeks leading up to that is when I actually have my weight gain, not necessarily the week of menstrual cycle, and I'll actually be able to talk to you about that this week. So yeah, last week, despite my best efforts, didn't have any weight loss. Now this week just passed. I started at a weight of 67.4 kilos, and that was a Wednesday check-in, and then this morning, so Wednesday again, I've checked in again at 66.2, so down 1.2 kilos. And in last week's video I talked about my expected rate of loss, which is going to have to be around 850 grams per week up until the show, just because I had so many setbacks with this preparation. So at the beginning of my prep, I had my weight at 71 kilos or whatever it was, and then I'd projected to be around 62, 63 as my anticipated stage weight. So working out the number of weeks I was going to be doing my preparation for, then dividing that, and you'd get a nice number for what to expect as far as weight loss every week. And I actually went up before I came back down, and I kind of hovered around a slightly higher weight for a few weeks when I was traveling. So yeah, it kind of forced me into a little bit more drastic approach with my training and my nutrition. Certainly not as bad as I've ever had to do before, but I wanted this to be a really slow and controlled fat loss diet, because I wanted to ensure that my metabolism remained in check, or certainly is as high as possible whilst dieting. Obviously you're going to have some metabolic adaptation take place when you're in a fat loss diet. So I was having a look at some of my comparison pictures from last year to some of the world champions now. One of the girls most of you are familiar with would be A.P.D from Australia. So I was looking at her pictures as a bit of a guide. Thanks, A.P.D. You are a bomb. So yeah, I was looking at her images and what I needed to work on personally to make sure that I'm competitive. And yeah, I definitely needed to be able to bring more to my quads. She has mad like quad sweeps going on, and that's not something I've had that really stood out. So how has my weight training program changed, you might be wondering? Well, what I did was look at my total training volumes for each of the muscle groups. So I went over and had a look at my the amount of volume I was doing on my quads specifically, the amount of volume I was doing on my hamstrings, glutes, back, shoulders, etc., etc. And what I did notice was my shoulder volume and my back volume, two areas that I have been commenting on saying, yeah, I've got huge lats, I wonder why. When I looked at the volume as compared to my lower, it was like, I think I was doing an extra 10 sets on my shoulders compared to my quads, which explains the hypertrophy that has taken place just during this program. So I do need to stop that, because the fitness girls, whilst they're very defined, I feel like at the moment if I was to continue at the really high volumes I'm doing now, I'd probably end up looking like a physique athlete, so I don't want that. So scaling back my shoulders and my back workouts has been a big focus for this new training block. So I've gone from like 35 sets on shoulders or back or whatever they were, it was similar to those numbers, and I've dropped them back into around 25, 26 sets. And what I have done for my quads and my hamstrings especially, I realized that I was only doing around 20 sets on quads and under 20 sets on my hamstrings. So I've brought those up to around 25, so they're more reflective of those areas that I need to work on for me. Arms I actually brought down. I don't want to focus so much on building up my arm muscles anymore, so I think I reduced my bicep tricep movements by about 3 or 4 sets across the training week. And what else? Oh, I wasn't doing hardly enough calves. I looked at my calves, I was like, oh my gosh. As a comparison, if I look at some of the other competitors who have been really successful, my calf definition is just not there. And obviously body fat, as you get leaner and you're coming in closer to your contest, things start popping, but there's an obvious lack of muscle in my calves right now, and it's frustrating because I used to have mad calves for when I used to do track sprinting, so you're always up on your toes, you're wearing running spikes. Yeah, that was really maintaining my calves when I was younger, and I'm not sprinting at the moment for this prep at all. The other thing I will just mention quickly is this week I'm actually going to be putting up a video specifically about dietary fiber and what the FDA considers, or how you actually track fiber. I've had a lot of people inbox me about macronutrient tracking, that they've seen some really weird ways of calculating like net carbohydrate, dietary fiber, insoluble fiber, la la la. So I actually had to go and review the FDA regulations myself because I'm not from the USA. So that was a really good learning experience for me, and I'm going to write an article on that this week and document a video which explains to you how to actually track your macronutrients. What are the calorie values given to dietary fiber? Are they subtracted from carbohydrates? Are they included in carbohydrates? And how all of that works. So if you do subscribe to my YouTube channel, do be sure to check that out. I'll post that in a few days' time. I just want to get all of the written content up on my website first, so that you can then go and read if you didn't quite understand what I was talking about. The other thing I've also done is contact my bikini designer. So I'm going to put a link on the screen for you now to have a look and see who I'm actually using for my theme wear and for my bikinis. So I've picked all my colors. They've given me an awesome color board to reflect like the colors that I really like. And I've also given them some really cool ideas for my theme wear, which I can't wait to see what they come back with. I used to love anime, like Japanese anime, when I was a kid, and Sailor Moon rings a bell. So yeah, my costume is kind of going to be pushing towards that. I thought it would be just something fun. She's like a powerful ruler. I don't know. Anyway, if anyone watched Japanese anime when they were kids, they probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's my theme where it's going to be kind of based around that warrior woman, I guess. So if you're interested in nutrition coaching or any kind of training programs, you're more than welcome to contact me. My website is www.hbnutrition.com.au. Follow me along on Instagram, it's at HollyTBaxter, and I'm just about to release my brand new ebook, so have a look at my website for that too. There's some freebies and giveaways that are being given out when you sign up and purchase one of those, so thanks very much. Off to see the wizard, the wonderful So this is my first posing session for the WBFF Fitness Diva, and I tell you what, it's so uncomfortable compared to what I'm used to. Having a figure background and doing all quarter turns and physique or figure poses, trying to get this to be glamorous, and when we added in the arms in the second session, I don't think it shows it here, but adding in the arms and head swooshes and things like that, it's really difficult. So the girls that are experiencing this, they make it look so easy, but I tell you what, it's really difficult. Yeah, so this is Natalie, my coach, posing coach. She's a really cool gal. Yeah, so you can see here she's trying to get me to like work out best ways to kind of hide my lats, because I have quite a wide lower back and my lats sit very high. So something that we were trying to work on was if I'm putting my arms up, not to kind of flare my lats out to the side. In fact, I kind of have to wing them and suck them back so that you can't see them. So even right here where you can see there, I'm really trying to draw my shoulder blades back so that I don't have that, that width. This is at about 6 weeks out. So I think I've actually dropped about 2.5 kilos since this video was done, which is really cool. Yeah, so struggling here to try to get my arms up without ballooning to the sides. Natalie is just talking about the different head positions, like tilting your head up and down to kind of make it a little bit more dramatic, but without being super tardy.
I watch you as you left, but I can never seem to let you go. Cause once upon a time you were my everything. It's clear to see that time hasn't changed a thing. It's very deep inside me, but I feel there's something you shouldn't.